Hello and welcome back. My name is Jason Delgado. This is the Orsini Studios, and this is the ReUp. Today we're going to talk a little bit progress report, where we were, where we are, and where we're going. Let's get into it. So yes, welcome. My name is Jason Delgado. This is the beautiful but bare Orsini Studios in lovely Los Angeles, California. Welcome. This is the ReUp, a show where I kind of talk about myself as a stand-up comedian amateur moving to the professional, sort of the ebbs and flows, the adventures, the ups and downs, and sort of, what I go through going from the day job into the dream job. Hopefully it'll help inspire and motivate those trying to do the same. In any case, welcome. Today I kind of wanted to get a little bit into a progress report because I had a couple cool things come up recently and I wanted to kind of share them with you, and hopefully they will inspire those out there trying to do the same. And Todo Bien t-shirts and gear available at reupgear.com. Check it out. And yeah, let's get into it. So things have been going pretty good recently. I got a little bit of a odd stand-up gig coming up, something I've never done before. I'm doing a roast. So there's a lovely comedian named Rachel D, who is very, very funny and hosts a lot of mics and does a lot of shows and is a very, very good comedian. And she has decided that for her birthday, she would like her fellow comedians to roast her, which I think is a bold choice. I am a little nervous because I don't know her that well, but I think she's really cool, and I don't want to be too mean. But there is something about trying to find that nice medium blend between hating and being appreciative. So I figure it's a good challenge. Challenge meets skill, and that's how you get flow. So I thought I'd give it a shot. And so this week I've kind of been writing jokes, like fresh jokes in a way that I've never done before, because normally I'm just kind of examining my life, finding interesting things, jotting them down, and then trying to spin them in an interesting way. But now I have to look at a person and try to kind of figure out something I could goof on them about, but without being sort of cruel. And that's tough. It's a delicate balance. So we are kind of little by little progressing towards it. I have about 15 seconds out of 5 minutes. So hopefully we'll get there. But the reason I thought it was nice to do a progress report today was because that's a bit of a milestone for me, doing a roast. It's a new type of comedy. And I was like, oh, this is cool. It's a new style of stand-up comedy that I've never done before. I'm going on about a year and 9 months of doing stand-up now. So it's nice that I'm about coming up on year 2 that I'm trying new things. It's not just the same old bits, but new things in the comedy world, because I do support. Please support, supportteamshow.com. And so that's kind of fun because it's content and you're still doing jokes, but it's kind of more written format, scripted format. But this is totally different. It's another stage in the evolution of comedy. And so I'm very excited about that. Next week, I will hopefully have some clips or some information on how that went, unless it went terrible, in which case I'll never mention it again. No, you'll hear about it, but hopefully it'll go really, really well. I am excited about it. One of the things I'm kind of wanting to get into a little bit was because, looking back on sort of like, you've been doing it for this long, now you're doing this, what else have we progressed in? And one of the things was recently my brother came out to visit me, and he mentioned how he thought I lost a lot of weight. And the kind of weight loss came because about 6 months ago, I thought I had a heart attack, or was having a heart attack. And I was at work, and I was very nervous, and like any genius who thinks they're having a heart attack, I drove myself to urgent care. Yeah, terrible ideas by Jason Delgado. But we got to urgent care, thank goodness. They did some tests, and they discovered that it was not a heart attack. I was merely being a sissy. No. They just, they determined that it was blood pressure and stress and perhaps a panic attack and maybe all the things at the time that were coming up, in work, and then trying to, do the comedy thing, and then, trying to create content and not believing in myself and eating terrible. And so all those things sort of amassed into this moment where I thought I was gonna die. And it's kind of terrible to goof about it, but that's all we got. But it's true. I really was very, very scared for myself. And so I made a commitment. I was like, I love cake, I love pizza, so I can't be too diety. It's just, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not there yet. Once they pay me to fit into a leotard, I promise. 6-pack abs all day. But for now, I just kind of want to make sure that my heart's in good shape and that my body's, not going to betray me or this thing's going to befall me that I don't want to just because I like, cheese on my sandwiches. Like, I want to make sure that my body is going to be able to maintain, some semblance of health, into my 40s and 50s as I go along. And so I started to exercise. And the plan was exercise 3 times a week, very minimal. Like I walk 1 minute, run 10 minutes. When I walk 1 minute, run 12 minutes. Walk 1 minute, run 15 minutes. And little by little, we progress. I also supplement that with sit-ups and push-ups. 10 sit-ups, 10 push-ups. 20 sit-ups, 20 push-ups. Little by little, progressing as time goes on. And I saw my brother, and he mentioned how he thought I lost about 40 pounds. And I was very shocked by that number. So I kind of wanted to see for myself. It had been 5 months of exercising 3 times a week regularly. And, slow progression. We're not talking about, the rock exercise. We're talking about, minimum. Walking to running, sit-ups to push-ups. But progress leads on progress. And I have lost 45 pounds in 5 months. True story. And I was shocked. Imagine if I would have tried. No, but it's weird because it's just one of those things where whenever I think about losing that amount of weight, I think it's like kale shakes and torture. And I mean, it's, it's a workout. You got to work out, but it's not one of these, burdens that I carry. If I'm in the mood for a donut, I'll eat a donut. So I don't have this sort of, other element to the weight loss regimen that maybe chemically deficient, but just doing it steadily and out of the blue, man. 45 pounds, pretty crazy. And so I wanted to tell that story for a couple reasons, hashtag humble brag, but also to inspire those who might want to be doing the same thing. Let me tell you, man, this idea that it's gonna be this cross you bear, uphill both ways, don't believe that, man. Do small incremental moves, little by little, not even stressing it. We're talking about walking 10 minutes, then walking 15 minutes, then walking 20 minutes, then maybe running 5 minutes. Little by little, boom. I'm up to 45 minutes or 43 minutes of running, 3 miles. I'm up to 100 push-ups, and I'm up to 100 sit-ups. And it is very exciting. And it's very cool to see that progress come from very basic minimal things. But what I would do is each week, just add a little, extra minute run, extra sit-up, 2 extra push-ups. And then out of the blue, your boy's Flaquito Jones, Delgado Jones. So it's very nice, and I'm very, very happy about that. But I tell the story to inspire people. If you want to go and lose weight or get your sort of body right in some semblance of a way, not leotard prepared, but just, healthier and feeling good and, being able to fit in smaller pants. Start it now and do it incrementally. Because I'll tell you, just little by little, consistency over intensity. And it works. And I'm here to testify. So I'm here to encourage those who want to try something. Don't say I'm going to eat kale shakes and work out 5 times a week. Just try it once a week and then 2 a week and then little by little. But like I said, progress should be incremental with consistency, not necessarily intensity. You don't have to hold the boulder while you're doing this stuff. Just do it 3 times a week. But through that, it's possible. So a little story for the inspirational people out there, for those who want to get themselves in shape or do anything that's sort of a progressive move. Write a novel, write a screenplay, learn a skill. Incremental. Progress is, consistency over intensity. But through that, through that consistency, you see results. And I think that allows you to continue to press on because you don't, you know what I mean? The motivation part, I've talked about this before. Will can only take you so far. I don't want to have to fight this battle with myself every time. I want myself to also want to do this. And I think one of the ways that really helps getting yourself there mentally, at least for me, was not making it a cross you bear or a boulder you carry. Just little, small, incremental moves with consistency. And then the results will come. I promise you. It is true. I am not one to be promoting weight loss or exercise, if anyone knows me. But it's true, man. I mean, if you make the move happens. So I highly recommend it. So if you got to do something, do it incremental. Highly recommend it. But one of the things I also wanted to get into was trying to... What did I have here? Oh, another little progressive thing was I started cursing on stage. Shh. I know, it was out of the blue. What wound up happening was, and the reason this is part of the progress was because, I don't know if it's progressive to start cursing on stage, but it still kind of fits into the wheelhouse of new things. Things I haven't done before, that I wasn't able to do, that now I feel more comfortable doing and can choose to do or not do. And cursing on stage is one of those things where I was like, no, I don't want to curse. I feel bad. And I curse in real life. So, like, why would I limit myself there? And, I think it was fear-based. I think it was because I was like, I want to be, Jim Gaffigan. But I want to be Brian Regan. But I think I had to sort of, grow out of that limitation. I can later now choose to not curse if I want to not curse. But I think that there's this thing in me that I had to say, I got to speak free, not be vulgar, but I got to at least, speak free, speak in my tone, in my voice. A comedian once told me it takes a long time to sound like yourself. That's so true. And I think that this is a step, as bad as it is to say, progressing to sounding more like myself. And it's one of those things where I think it's conquering fears, but it's also making progress in the sense that you're making progress if you break through a fear. And I think one of my fears was, cursing on stage or being, in a position where I'm talking about subjects that are a bit touchy. Like I did a joke about gun violence recently. And that's one of those things where I feel, I'm a little bit weird about Politico and stuff like that. And I still won't get Politico just because I'm not Politico in real life. But there are some things that I think are nice to touch on because everybody knows about them and everybody's sort of with it. And you could take a stance and you could take a side on something and not just be, middle of the road. Because I think a middle of the road comic has limitations. You need to make some sense of a stance on something. And I think that was a progressive move to do. And the joke went well, I think. Here's an example. I'll actually hear it.
Here's the thing. We got to get real about a couple things. We're not going to get rid of guns, yo. It's just not going to happen, man. You know what the problem with guns is? You know what the real problem with guns is? Have you ever fired a gun? Yeah. They're fucking amazing! Right? We're not trying to get rid of shit that feels amazing right now, man. We're putting alcohol in seltzer water. We're running out of weed. We're running out of chicken sandwiches, man. This shit is over, bro. We're not feeling good.
And so, yeah, that's what we're doing now. Cursing on stage. But again, it was I did feel like it's good because I'm growing, and growth is good. It's not a little uncomfortable, unless you're shrinking. I suck. But even shrinking, I'm growing mentally. But there is a lot of when it comes to progress, I think so much of it is not putting yourself in a position where it's a burden. When progress comes, it should come with ease, and it should come naturally. It should come without this need to push in some will way. Like, I will myself to curse and lose weight. Like, no, that's not how I think it works, or would recommend it. But I think that just has to come in this very slow, natural way where your body and your mind can sort of adapt to a sort of a new thing, and to push past the fear. Slow, incremental, power versus force, consistency over intensity. These little things, these little moves, slowly lead up to a move. And I'm happy about it. I'm really happy about the weight loss. I'm really happy about cursing on stage, for better or worse. And I'm happy about taking on this challenge for this roast that I'm doing. Because it's an exciting adventure, and it's something that and I'm really looking forward to showing everybody, because it could be a total fail. But that's the excitement, that's the adventure. And again, it's about pushing past fear. And it's about pushing past these limitations, about making progress. And I think in the making of progress, you can make more progress faster because you got that juice in you now. Now you feel like, oh man, if I just keep doing this, it'll get even better. Whereas before, you're just like, I'm going to do this and hope it works out. Where now there's a result that can come out of it. And it makes you burn harder, I think. Now I'm, running 3 miles a day or 3 miles 3 times a week. I'm taking on new challenges. It's nice. It's progress and it's growth. And it comes from having something, conquering it, and then conquering the next one, and then adding a new thing. And little by little, you just start rolling on it. But again, it's not a marathon in a day. Small incremental moves. So I highly recommend that. I highly recommend, if you got something you want to do, novel, screenplay, weight loss, learn how to paint. Small moves, as Contact would say. Little moves, little progress, little bit every day, 3 times a day, or in a scheduled, regimented way. And things change, man. Things happen. I'm telling you, here to testify. And we're at a good time frame to call this episode of the ReUp. It's a little bit of a rambly episode, a little bit of a humble braggy episode, but I'm hoping it inspires people, because weight loss is really, really tough for a lot of people. I mean, it's tough for me. At least I thought it was. I mean, working out is hard, no doubt. But I should say getting to the gym is hard. Working out, because once you're at the gym and you're working out, you're already there. Why not? But I think that initial motivation is really tough. But, if you don't set yourself up with this, like, it has to be 5 times a week or else you're a failure. Like, if you don't do that, and you just set yourself up with, hey, at least you do a little bit. There's this Japanese, I forgot the sort of the methodology or the term they use, but they say, do it for 1 minute a day. Just 1 minute a day, and then you can forget about it. Once you wind up doing it for a minute, and then you do it for 5 minutes, and then that 5 minutes, whatever. But it's this idea that, like, it's this Navy SEAL theory where the Navy SEALs used to say, I'm quitting tomorrow. First thing tomorrow, I'm quitting. As soon as I get through today, tomorrow, I'm going to wake up and quit. Then you wake up, you don't quit, and you say the same thing. If at the end of this day, forget it. I'm just going to go to sleep. Tomorrow, I'm going to wake up, and I'm going to quit. You go to sleep, you wake up, and your brain's just like, I'm fresh. Let's keep going. And it's this idea that you don't put it on yourself mentally to burden. You put it on yourself, to succeed. Even if it's a little success. I did this for 1 minute. And, you do that long enough, you get biceps. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Progress, progress, progress. Just keep pushing forward. Consistency over intensity, power versus force. And be strong. Stay strong. Flex positive, as I like to say. But anyway, I'm rambling. We'll close it out here. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the ReUp, and we'll hope to see you on the next one with some roast footage. Yay. Take care.